Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, we're going to do a little Oreo Chaffle showdown. Now, a while back, I did a video on two sweet chaffles. One was a blueberry chaffle, the other was an Oreo chaffle, and I'll link to that right up here. Two of the most common comments that I got on that video were, first, how can you possibly call this a chaffle? It has no cheese in it. Well, it seems that chaffle has just sort of become a catch-all name for keto waffles, so call it what you want, call it a keto waffle, call it a chaffle, I don't care. The other comment was that the Oreo chaffle recipe seemed too complex. And I took that recipe directly from the Low Carb Inspirations website. I will link to it down below just to give credit where credit is due. And I got one user submission from KCCat5 that she said is her go-to for an Oreo chaffle. So we're going to compare the two. We'll start by making our frosting. First, you'll need 2 tablespoons of cream cheese softened. To that, we'll add 2 tablespoons of confectioner's sweetener. I'm using Swerve. And 1/4 teaspoon vanilla extract. Mix these together until smooth. And then we'll set this aside while we make our chaffles. For our chaffle batter, we start with 1 large egg, beaten. To this, we'll add 1 tablespoon of black cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of confectioner's sweetener, again I'm using Swerve, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese softened to room temperature, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, a 1/4 teaspoon of instant coffee, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. And then whisk together. Now, this batter is enough to fill 3 Dash Minis or 2 waffles in the Dash No Mess. So if you want to double it and make 4, you can do that in the No Mess quite easily. It's been 3 minutes. They're no longer steaming. We're going to pop these out and onto a cooling rack. They're very soft when you first pull them out. And now the Oreo chaffle submitted by KCCat5. We start with 1 egg, beaten. To this, we'll add 2 tablespoons of dark cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of granulated sweetener. I'm using Boca Sweet. You can use erythritol, you can use Lakanto, you can use Swerve, whatever you want. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. And then we'll whisk that together. This batter is quite a bit thicker than the other batter. And into the Dash Mini with our second batch. This also looks like it's going to yield a little bit more than 2 chaffles. As with the other batch, it's been about 3 minutes and they're no longer steaming, so let's pop them out and get them on a cooling rack. Now that they've had a chance to cool down to room temperature, we'll put on some frosting. Close them up and give them a taste. First, we have the more complicated chaffle. The color is dead on Oreo. But let's see how it tastes. That is really, really good. And the taste is just spot on Oreo. And now the Oreo Chaffle submitted by KCCat5. This is incredibly good. It doesn't taste as much like an Oreo as the one by Low Carb Inspirations. To me, this tastes almost identical to a Hostess Ho-Ho or a Hostess Cupcake. It is really quite wonderful. This is an absolute winner. Well done, KC. So that's it. They were both really, really great chaffles or keto waffles. The one from Low Carb Inspirations definitely tasted more like an Oreo, and you're going to get that from the black cocoa powder. So if you want something that tastes pretty much exactly like an Oreo and you're willing to put in a little extra work, great recipe. On the flip side, the recipe from KC Cat 5, I loved it. I mean, I think that's a recipe that I'm going to be able to work with in the future, possibly do some air fryer stuff, maybe make some sort of a keto Hostess cupcake or something. Great recipe, super easy, highly recommended. Thank you, KC, and thank you for watching.